So today is Wednesday, November 11th, and your job today is to watch a video over the Hurricane Katrina. Even if you are not doing your own topic, if you're in my pre-AP class in person, I want you to watch that video because it shows you how much destruction was done. I don't want you to have to do anything with that. I just want you to watch it and see what really happened. Okay, so that's a very scientific video. It tells you about where the levees broke and what happened and where the water went, and it shows you a really good map. So today I'm also going to do some, I want you to watch this so you guys can hear some book talks and hear about some books. I try to find my books that are about New Orleans, but I also threw in an additional book. So this is the first one. It's called The Agony House. The Agony House is an interesting book. I bought it thinking it was a graphic novel, but it is a mixture of a graphic novel and a book. So this is the same author that wrote I Am Princess X, which I think is about Malcolm X's daughter. But if you look at this book, it has aspects of a graphic novel. Like there's lots of pictures in it. The pictures are really cool. And it's just got different things. It's a little bit of a scary story if you like scary stories. This is really not that bad, but it's about a family that moves into a house after Hurricane Katrina. And so after Hurricane Katrina, they move into the house. It's been a long time since I read this. And the person who lives there thinks it's haunted. And so she keeps hearing all these things. She's like, oh my gosh, this house is crazy. Somebody died here. Somebody, whatever. She's freaked out. And so she finds an old comic book. And she starts reading the comic book. And that's what the graphic novel, those parts for. And you gotta read the rest of it to figure out what is going on in this house. The house is really creepy. That's how you show you the backgrounds are really creepy. But it is a book about somebody who comes and moves to New Orleans. And when I went to New Orleans, I actually went there 3-4 years ago. And I stayed in an area that's really close to this. And so that's one reason I picked up this book. And so it's just interesting because a lot of people after the storm, many people moved out and did not come back. And then some people, when they came back, they didn't have a house or whatever. And so they're renovating this house. And so that has to do with it as well. Okay? This next book that I'm going to talk to you about is a book I haven't read yet. It's a book I'm going to start reading once I finish Night Divided. So it's Upside Down and In the Middle of Nowhere. Some of you might have read this when you were younger because it's a little bit of a younger read. It actually is a pretty thick book. It has 313 pages. So it says on the back, Armani Curtis can think only about one thing, her 10th birthday. All of her friends are coming to her party. Her mom is making a big cake with blue icing. And she has a really good feeling about a certain wrapped present. 10 years old is a big deal. It means she's older, wiser, and more responsible. But when Hurricane Katrina hits the lower nines of New Orleans and tears her world apart, she realizes that being 10 means being brave, watching loved ones die, and mustering all the strength to help her family survive the storm. So I really want to read this as we're working on our story because, we are discussing Hurricane Katrina for a reason. Hurricane Katrina happened, and we need to do things to prevent it. And I think this author is from Louisiana, and so this author probably experienced Hurricane Katrina as well. And so I think this quote on the back is really good. For the first time in my whole life, I felt unsafe in a place where I'd always known, no matter what, I was going to be safe. Let me tell you, I have a 4-year-old. Charlie is his name. And Charlie is so obsessed with what's he going to get for Christmas and Christmas items and Spider-Man and Marvel and possessions and can he get this Kinder Egg and can he get that and let's watch Imaginext on YouTube. When we think of an event like Hurricane Katrina, it really puts our lives in perspective. Guys, we live next to the Mississippi River. If something catastrophic were to happen, an earthquake or a major flooding event, we could lose everything in a moment's time. And so I think this book kind of gives you a little bit of like, that could happen to anyone. And like, it makes you just feel grateful for things. The last book I'm going to talk to you about is going to change gears a little bit. It's called 10. It is by Gretchen McNeil. Gretchen McNeil also wrote the Murder Trending series, which is pretty popular nowadays. 10 is about an island. So all these teenagers are going to this island. And they're like, yeah, we go turn up for the weekend. Yeah. Well, they get there. And everything seems fine. They go to eat. Somebody dies. Okay? And, first it's like, oh, okay. Then the TV screen goes on and it says, this is the first one. And it says like it's going to keep going. Then somebody else dies. And it says 2. And so it's trying to get to 10. Now, here's the thing. There's been a bad storm. No power on the island. Somebody might be the murderer that's with them. And so you have to read it to find out. It's a very, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer book. It's a very, like, creepy book. It's a very, like, I had to read this all night long. Because if I didn't, my anxiety would have killed me. And so if you are somebody who likes mysteries, this is a really good mystery book. And it's called 10. So today, watch your video, enjoy your day, and have a good one.